hopefully within the next few days. Now, people that don't know, and I know this is eating into the question time, for people that don't know, I'm involved with the principals who are freeing the collateral accounts. The base agreement that we have is that we will participate in a combination of humanitarian efforts to right the wrongs of the planet. This means people that are hungry will eat. People who need a decent life will basically have the capability to attain that. People who have been underutilized, who have extraordinary capability, we intend to put them to work at as full a capacity as possible. We're going to reinitiate industry, farming, and a whole bunch of other things. We need updates. We need to bring ourselves back at least on a par with the rest of the planet so that we can participate in some of the great projects that are coming up. Great. I'm going to give you just one. The oceans have been a dumping ground for years of just about everything you can think of. Well, one of the things about making our planet not be too mad at us and shaking us off like fleas, causing all those end times 2012 end of the world scenarios, is fixing the mess we made. So we're going to have a lot of jobs, might even be short of help. I'm not sure yet. We've been promised extraordinary technologies that can help us do these things. So you're looking forward to being able to help Mother Earth, ourselves, I guess the whole of the galactic community. And that's all I got to say.
Drake, may I offer a clarification of one issue? Hello?
Yes,
what is it?
Go ahead.
I want to tell you, at least only in Virginia, because that's the only state law that I'm an expert in, if you please, the common law exists side by side with statutory law. And if an area has not been modified by statutory law, common law still exists in that area. So there's a coexistence of law in Virginia. So if there's not a particular statute concerning some subject, then the common law is the application that would be used in the court system. So I just want to make sure that that's quite obvious to everyone. So if we go back to the common law, all we're doing is basically the same law that hasn't been modified. We take the modifications out.
Basically, yes.
That.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. And
You're
Drake,
welcome, and I'm going to be quiet.
Thank you, Ed. And come back again, because we're doing this every Wednesday and Sunday.
I'm sorry to take some time.
Yeah. Thank you. We have like 10 minutes left, and so I have two people who have questions, and so they each get 5 minutes each, and I apologize to them, but I am going to bring on Tony. He's been holding for almost 3 hours, and so Tony, you have 5 minutes. What would you like to interject?
Okay, I basically have 3 questions. The first one should be answered relatively quickly. The second one might need a little bit of a couple of minutes. But the first one is when the military mobilizes, according to the preacher, he said it should be within the next couple of weeks. So when the military mobilizes and starts arresting the cabal members and their minions, will there be similar arrests in Canada?
Canada's a little different than the United States, but yes, that's the ideology behind it. We want to, the basic process is to use the original founding documentation. And the idea changes according to different founding documents. Some things change in terms of being able to the application of those founding documents may be different than the ones that we have and worked with. So that's the differential. In terms of offering a procedure, the procedure is basically the same. And I will be posting that on my website in the near future.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Now, my second question is a kind of question/suggestion for you, Greg. I appreciate your definition of unalienable rights with the UN, as it was made clear, as being God-given rights and how they apply to the entire human race as a whole. Also, it has been said on several occasions that the goal of this movement is to free all of humanity from the tyranny of the cabal. Undeniably, our AT friends are here to back up and help all of humanity, not just the citizens of any specific country. That said, why don't we write a global constitution that applies and protects the rights of all humans rather than only the people of each individual country? Now, if the human race decides that they still want to maintain boundaries and have their own individual countries, that's fine. But since we're all representative now of planet Earth, once the arrests have been done, once the full disclosure of ET has happened, once the Earth and the people on it begin the ascension process, I, for one, would like to be referred to and known as citizen of the Earth rather than citizen of any specific country. And as such, should we not really have a constitution, a global constitution for all of Earth?
I'll tell you why. That's because that violates a lot of the sovereignty that people feel they want to keep within their own countries. There's a little thing out there called New World Order, and that's basically the cabal. And in terms of a world government, that's basically what you're talking about. Now, the difference hold on a minute. The difference between that and what we're looking at is that the basis of common law in terms of damaged person or property, you commit a crime. If not, you didn't commit a crime. The ideology or morality of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, is supposed to be, a part of the whole of this ideology. Now, here's the gist of it, and something that a lot of people are not aware of that is going to happen. Whether anybody really likes it a lot or not doesn't make me any difference. It's been, for way too long, a problem in terms of world peace, where you got countries going to war with other countries, either governmentally or belief-wise. Okay, these things will no longer be tolerated. There are other ways to settle disagreements of these nature. And the basis of this is going to be put together similar, not the same as, similar as what the United Nations was supposed to be. In other words, you can be talking about a major overhaul, piston change, engine size change, and basically the charter being totally changed. This is going to be a basic breeding ground for agreement, for assistance, and all of the things that the United Nations was intended originally to be. It got stolen, just like the other good intentions of man, and put into the hands of the cabal, and is a tool for the destruction of most of the life and lives on this planet, among other things. That is going to be changed, definitely. So be aware that the idea that you're holding, it can be a reality, but it has to be an agreed reality rather than a forced one or something that is above the individual. In other words, you're going to take into consideration the little guy along with the big guy and see what you can figure out that works. And this is basically what everybody's going to be tasked with doing. This is why I say it's going to take an extraordinary effort by everybody and their mother-in-law that can walk, talk, or, be proficient in anything. That's basically the idea behind this. It's a different take on everything.
Okay, I appreciate your answer.
Right,
Basically, I agree with you.
We got time for another question.
Yeah. Thank you, Ed. Call again. All right, Tony's been waiting for a long time, so it's Tony's turn. Tony, are you there?
No, I just asked my question.
Oh, you're all set. Okay, thank you, Tony. Okay, so Yuma.
Hi, this is Yuma, and I have one comment. It's a question, or it's not a comment. It's a question from myself as well as others who I know. With the first sweep and the second sweep, I think I heard you say, Drake, something in the numbers of like 1 million. Many of us are wondering about the CEOs, the CFOs, chief financial officers, the board of directors, those people who are at these high up corporations, which are totally damaging, have been damaging. How are those people going to be dealt with? Are they on the list? Are many of them on the list? I mean, Wilmington, Delaware is like the hotbed of corporatocracy. I come from there. I don't live there now, but how will these corporations like Monsanto, DuPont, Raytheon, General Electric, how will those people be handled?
Just the same as any of the other crooks, if they're crooked.
So they're going to be looked at. They have been looked at, and they will be rounded up if that's the case.
Exactly. Now you're understanding how far this goes. This is why I was trying to say, if people look at it, they'll find that the federal government doesn't employ that many people. So therefore, you know now that the financiers, people responsible for the deaths of other people through wanting to steal money, or hey, we can save $2 if we don't turn the safety system on. There was an engineering report from the platform in the Gulf that started that oil spill about. I hope you're happy now that we turned this sucker off and it's blowing up in your face. You think about that. I mean, there it is. You got unions that are supposed to try to protect their miners when the turkeys that are in charge refuse to comply with safety issues. I mean, there's certain things you're supposed to do to make sure the guys don't get buried or blown up or whatever, and they're not doing it. We just had a recent result up here when the Hills area, Virginia area, that resulted in the death of 23 people because these people decided to turn some things off to save the light bill a little bit. Well, good grief. I mean, what's the price of a life? And, was the light bill worth it? And why weren't these people adjudicated for manslaughter? I mean, there are questions I've got that are obtuse in comparison to what some people feel. But this is the way this needs to be. This is why I'm calling for adjudication of Eric Holder on felony charges for weapons trafficking internationally. I don't care if the government said so. That's not the point. He gave these guns directly to crooks, knew he was doing it, and it resulted in the death of an American. Okay, how many felonies you got to have before you're guilty? How do these elite believe that they can actually get away with that? Things have got to change, and drastically and quickly. And I believe that change is coming rapidly. I'm hoping.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of this, and I hope Wilmington, Delaware will definitely get a visit from a few people. Thank you.
You're welcome. How are we doing?
Okay. Well, we are 2 minutes out.
2 minutes out.
Actually, 90 seconds. And so I'm going to do a test here because one of the things is that more people listen to the archive than they listen live, and there have been about 5,000 people listening live. And my understanding of Blog Talk is that we can go a little bit longer, which will be posted in the archive, and twice as many people listen to the archive than they do live. So the people that are listening live right now, we're going to cut out 60 seconds. But I would like to, there are people on the line right now, and there were actually some questions that were in the chat. And so I'm going to ask Denise come in. This is just a little test as we're playing around with being here in Blog Talk Radio that I've been dealing with for 3.5 years. So in 60 seconds, the people who are listening live, the 5,800 people or whatever, we're going to cut off. But if you want to come back and check of what else was added in the archive, please do. And thank you for clicking on the links of the video ad at the beginning of the show that helps to support the show. And much love to